Hello. All right, we are talking about alternators. Alternators on the FAR 56 with the Yanmar. So this boat has two alternators there. It has a standard 12 volt alternator which charges the starting battery, and then it has a 24 volt 110 amp charger which charges the house batteries when you're cruising. You know, most cruising boats have solar. They could have wind generators. They could have a generator. You could charge off of shore power with a battery charger. All different ways to charge the battery. But if you're cruising and you're running the main motor, you've got a 24 volt, or at least this one has a 24 volt 110 amp charger. So we can put a lot of energy back into the batteries pretty quick with that if we're just more motoring. Problem is, we bought this boat used, and the previous owner, I guess when you buy anything used, you get, who knows what you get, right? And we had a survey done on this boat. Nobody caught this, but the 24 volt alternator is putting out nothing. It is not working at all. And we knew that we had to look at this and figure it out. We pulled up the alternator like as for replacement in case the alternator is bad, like $2,500, and I'm like, oh god. 2.5 boat bucks, right? What are we gonna do? Let's dig into this at some point. Maybe it's the regulator, maybe it's something, who knows what it is, right? So we dug into this tonight randomly, and let me show you the components on the end. So this is the engine. This guy right here is the 12 volt alternator. Okay, so this charges the 12 volt battery. This guy here is the big bad boy, right? This is your 24 volt one. And then over here you have part of it's all this boat has all Mastervolt systems, and they actually call this the Alpha Pro, and this is kind of the controller for the alternator. It's actually pretty cool how it works. You get a lot of control, a lot of ability to adjust things with this, and then you have the voltage regulator on the back of the alternator itself. Now we were looking, I got into here and I was just looking at the wiring. I really didn't know what was what or what went where. And we got in here, and I'll show you. Look down here for a second. I was looking at this connector and I'm like, man, this is a weird connector, right? And I was looking, there's two fuses in here. The fuses are fine. And my background from high school is car audio. And what's funny is back in the 90s, we used a ton of single pole double throw relays. Really simple device, the electromechanical switch. And I'm looking at this going, that's a relay socket. Why is there no relay? And so like, okay, let's like freaking run to AutoZone and buy a freaking relay and see if it works, right? And so that's exactly what we did. We bought, these are typically, Bosch makes these little single pole double throw relays. They're really simple. You got a coil of wire, you energize a coil of wire, it magnetizes and pulls the switch across and closes the switch. And so we looked up what this does in the manual, and it's actually kind of cool. If the 12 volt alternator is putting out energy, then it energizes the coil, and it switches on this one, and it sends power to the controller. And I was like, oh, well, that's pretty straightforward. What I didn't expect was we're literally leaving AutoZone with this thing, and I'm going, oh, this is a freaking 12 volt relay. This isn't gonna work. The 24 volt alternator is a 24 volt boat system. It's not gonna work. It's gonna burn up. And then we, like I said, then we looked it up in the manual, and we're like, oh, well, the 12 volt alternator actually powers the coil, so it will work. So we opened up the engine room, we stuck this bad boy right in here like this. We started up the engine, and sure enough, it came on. So for some reason, the previous owner had pulled out the relay. Maybe it stuck shut, maybe it stuck open, maybe there's a problem, I don't know. Relays have problems. But it was never replaced. And then the 24 volt system was never working. One of my theories, one of my thoughts is that when we put it in and we revved up the engine, we're checking it, we were getting 29.5 volts, which is high, which is higher than charging should be. And so this controller has a couple potentiometers on it, 3 little set screws that we can adjust the float the absorption, you know, the bulk voltage, the absorption voltage. We can adjust a lot of different things on here. So we were able to bring that voltage down. So my fear is, or my thought is, not fear, my thought is that he may have been overcharging his batteries, and instead of understanding that it can be adjusted, somebody may have said, hey, just don't use this thing. Don't use this until you replace it, right? And they may have just pulled out the relay so it would never work again until it got replaced. Maybe, I don't know. We put the relay in, we were able to adjust this. We brought the voltage down to 28.8, which is 2 point, I can't remember what it is, 2.24, whatever it is, 2.2 per cell, basically 14.4, which is what most automotive stuff is, 28.8. We set it there, and so it's not going to go above that voltage. We need to look at the batteries that we have and confirm what it needs to be, but that was like a lower set point so that we're kind of protected. So anyway, long story short, an $8 relay from AutoZone, we now have our 24 volt system working again. It is probably the coolest fix we've done on the boat. And there's been a lot of fixes on this boat. We spent all day getting our ass beat doing other stuff on this boat, like the dinghy davits, which will be another video, putting the mainsail back on. We did all sorts of stuff today. But this has been the easiest, coolest, simplest, cheapest, probably cheapest fix we've done. So anyway, I wanted to do just a super quick video to show you now when the engine's on, we're not connected to shore power, you don't have the generator running, nothing else is running. We're able to put 110 amps back into the 24 volt system. So when we do our passages and we have to motor sail, we're gonna be able to charge the batteries. We could just start the engine and run it for an hour or so anyways and charge the batteries too. So super excited about this. I was concerned because we're getting ready to do a passage and we didn't have this working, but now it is. So anyway, super simple fix, super excited.